Perek Zayin Mishnah Beis. This Mishnah is a long Mishnah and a very important one. Perek Zayin Mishnah Beis lists all the 39 melachas. And by way of introduction, just as it is Chol HaMoed Pesach, just to mention an interesting hakdama to the concept of a melacha. Now we know that the 39 melachas are not listed in the Torah, but they're derived from a smichas haparshas, from the juxtaposition of the discussion of Shabbos and the discussion of the Mishkan. And the 39 melachas were used in the building or the activity of the Mishkan itself. And therefore, the smichas haparshas is derived from there to learn the 39 categories of melachas which are forbidden on Shabbos. Now, imagine a person came to your house and wasn't religious, didn't know the concept of Shabbos, and he wanted to switch on the light. And you said you can't do that. But later, let's say you schlep the bed from the basement up to the loft, to the attic where he's going to be sleeping, and that you can do. So he doesn't understand, why is it that you can't switch on the light or off, and you can schlep the bed? And he doesn't understand the whole concept of melacha. Why is it that the light seems to be so easy to do, yet the physical labor involved in schlepping a bed is so much harder? So what he doesn't understand is the concept of a melacha. It's not avoda, work, which the Torah prohibits, but rather melacha. The 39 headings of melacha in the Mishkan were the prototype of constructive, creative labor that was done in the Mishkan. And that is what exactly is also on Shabbos. These 39 headings are all considered melachas. They're not necessarily hard work. Switching on a light may involve issues of mavir, of bona, etc., etc. But it's not hard work. The Torah asks melacha, not avoda. And amazingly, there is a Tosfos in Pesachim, in Arvi Pesachim, and Kuf Yud Zayin on the base, which makes an amazing observation. Tosfos notes that the Torah the whole time calls the Shibud Mitzrayim as Avodas Porech. Avodas Porech, what is Avodas Porech? Tosfos says that it's exactly the opposite of melacha. It's the antithesis of melacha. It is totally non-constructive and non-creative. Mitzrayim always denotes hard work, which was avodas porech, which was futile labor, building on soft sand, on quicksand, where the thing just collapsed down. It was futile labor. Says Tosfos an amazing thing. The atbash of the word porech, i.e., every gematria has, as we know, a numerical value. Aleph is 1, base is 2. The word av is therefore 3. The atbash gematria system is the opposite of it. So aleph is therefore 400, base is 300, etc. The atbash of the word porech comes to 39. Atbash comes to 39. And therefore, what you see, says Tosfos, is that the antithesis of the avodas porech in Mitzrayim is the 39 melachos. And that is the hakdama to this Mishnah, because the Mishnah says, avos melachos aboim chos achas. There are 39 melachos on Shabbos. Just by the way, why doesn't it just say 39? Why does it say aboim chos achas? And the Mepharshim give reasons. One reason is because it's a borrowed expression from Makkos. Makkos, the Torah says arboim yakenu, and the Gemara explains it doesn't mean 40, it means one less. It says b'mispa arboim. Therefore it's 39, so therefore we use the same terminology over here. Okay, so let's begin the Mishnah. Avos melachos aboim chos achas. There are 39 melachos on Shabbos. Now the first 11 melachos all relate to the preparation of bread. So let's go through them. Hazoreya, someone who sows, i.e. he takes seeds and he puts them into the ground and they sow. And number 2, hachoresh. Choresh is ploughing. Now of course, the order straight away seems wrong. You do choresh first. First of all you plough and you prepare the ground, and then you do zoreya. So why is it that way around? Why do we say hazoreya v'hachoresh? So the Bar Tanura picks up on this straight away and says as follows: Hodelo tono hachoresh bereisha, for hodo hazoreya. The reason why it doesn't say choresh first and then zoreya, kederach kolar, it's like it would normally say, la'ashmu'inan, to teach us, she'im hoya karka kosher, if you have very hard land, v'zorei, and then you sow, v'acha kachoize v'chorsho, and then you plow over again, a second ploughing, machai v'charisha shniya mishum choresh. You'd still be chayiv on the second form of choresh for the lav, the issa of choresh. So therefore it says hazoreya v'hachoresh. So zoreya is sowing. That is the first malacha, and then choresh. The toldas of all of these would be included in these melachas. The tolda which would be included in zoreh would be anything which would help something grow, would promote the growth of a plant or the like. Choresh, included in that would be, for example, meshave gumos, smoothing over the ground, making it smooth, which would involve, could involve the bull games on Shabbos and these sort of things. Hazoreh v'hachoresh. The third one is kotzer. Kotzer is, of course, reaping, harvesting, detaching any plant from its root is considered kotzer. Hama'amer, ma'amer is gathering, but ma'amer would be only applies to things that grow, for example, but not salt, or for example things like that. That would not be included. Furthermore, it only applies to gathering cut plants, for example, in the place which they grow. For example, sheaves of wheat, and if you reap them and then you gather them together, that's what's included in ma'amer. But it would also be included as a tolda of that, fruit which have fallen from a tree, even if they fell before Shabbos. To gather them together on Shabbos is an issa of ma'amer. The Mishnah Berurah says in Shin Mem, in Sifkot and Lamed Zayin, the Mishnah Berurah says, if however you've got a fruit bowl where the fruit just spills and you've got some oranges on the floor, gathering those together is not a problem of ma'amer, because it specifically applies in the place where they actually grew. Okay, the fifth melacha is hadosh. Hadosh is, of course, threshing. And perhaps that's the purpose of threshing, of course, is to extract the grain from the husk. Included, the main tolda of that is schita on Shabbos. Schita is to take a fruit and to squeeze it. For example, midaraisa, to take olives or to take grapes and to squeeze it to get olive oil, to get grape juice, wine on Shabbos. That is a problem. It's a deraisa of dosh. It comes under the category of the tolda of sochet. Midrabban, of course, if you take oranges or other fruits and you squeeze them, that would be a problem. So that's the fifth malacha of dosh. The sixth malacha is hazoire. Hazoire is winnowing. That once you've got the kernels, you want to throw them up in the air, and the wind blows away and takes away the chaff from the actual grain. That's hazoire. The seventh malacha is haboirer, which of course is borer, which is sorting. That's a very prevalent halacha. One of perhaps together with ofer, with the bishul, these are the two key melachas of Issa Shabbos. Haborer, the key rules for borer. There are three main rules for borer. That a person can only select something from a mixture if it is ochel metoch psoles. He's taking the good from the bad. Then biyad, he's using his hand or an extension of his hand, a fork or an eating implement, which is just an extension of his hand. And thirdly, it's miyad for immediate use. If he fails on any of those three, then he could be over the issa deraisa of boreh. Eighth meloch is hatochen. Tochen is grinding. You're taking the flour, the kernels of wheat now, and you're grinding it to create flour. That is tochen. Included in tochen would be, for example, things that come up on a regular basis on Shabbos is cutting vegetables very, very fine. Could be under the category of tochen. Ninth melacha is meraked. Meraked is sifting. Once you've crushed the wheat into flour, you want to sift it to make sure that the fine flour comes through. So you use a sieve and you sift it. That's meraked. The 10th melacha is losh, v'halosh. Losh is kneading it. Once you've got the fine flour, you add water and you knead it into a dough. The application of that on Shabbos would be, for example, making cereals, baby cereals, or very prevalent, it would be making tuna salad or egg salad on Shabbos. If you get the egg and the mayonnaise and you mix it together, that would be an issa of losh. So of course one has to look into the halachas to learn exactly how you can and cannot make this, but that's beyond the scope of these mishnayos. And the 11th one within the first sort of grouping of how to prepare bread is, of course, ofer, the actual baking. And included in that is bishul as well. That is ofer. That is the 11th melacha.